Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do a collective reading for the 1010 energies, the 1010 portal, which is tomorrow. And then obviously we're really, really close to that new moon eclipse on Friday, so just 4 days away as I'm recording this video. And so that being included too in the energies, and 1010 has always been a really important number for me ever since I was a little girl. So it was like 1111 and 1010, and like whereas 1111 was kind of this number that just always felt like real flowy and just kind of like make a wish, Wendy, the 1010 energy just like always popped out differently at me, where it had this power and it had this it just kind of like grabbed my attention. It would like grab me and kind of be like, hey, let's link up, let's do something together. Like it kind of had this like best friend type of energy for me that I didn't understand. I never really thought about it, but just I remember this. I remember this sensation. Okay, so now as life has gone on, and understanding 1010 being a number of, or a number combination of completion, of death and rebirth. But what I'm really feeling right now from this energy in particular, and maybe it's because of where we're at in human evolution, maybe it's because this hooks up with that eclipse on Friday, but really standing out not as just like an ending and then therefore a new beginning, because wherever there's an ending there's a beginning, and two sides of the same coin. It's like presenting differently to me, and maybe this is always the case and I'm just perceiving it like with clear perception right now, or maybe it's just a potential that's specific to right now. But what it feels like to me is like the completion, the ending. Let me see if I can get this out, because it's subtle, right? It's a nuance. It's a nuance in the energy. So just to clarify again, like not just like, okay, it's an ending and then something new begins. It's literally like an ending, a completion of a certain thing, but then that which rises in its place, that which kind of like goes through the portal of that zero, right, is the like an up leveling into a higher version of what we just completed. So rather than it being like, this is over, now we start something new, it's like we start a new, higher, more true expression of that which what we were doing. So what we were completing, you know what I mean? It's like we're completing a cycle within a cycle. That's what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like we're going through the eye of a needle, say, like as we're going through that eye, the what is not true, and what is not in alignment, and what has like long expired energetically is being pulled off. And so the new is just the pure expression of what we were in. Okay, so I don't know if that makes sense, or if that was even necessary to specify, but it's just what's standing out the most to me, where it's like quantum jumping into a pure higher version. So what we're completing is a denser version of what we're moving into. So it's like the same thing. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah, but and maybe it'll come through with the cards. Maybe that'll be illuminated more, or maybe it won't. But anyway, that's what I'm really feeling from this energy, where it's like the completing of a denser version of what we're now birthing into and moving into. Okay, so to me it just feels like so exciting and so potent, and kind of that feeling that I would have when I was a little girl, where it's like your higher self and you were just like, girl, or like boy, like you got this, like this was written, like whatever you're doing, like this, like deja vu, like this is the lineup, this is where things link up. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but if you get the energy, if you're getting the energy transmission, then you're getting it, and you know what I'm talking about. Some part of you knows what I'm talking about. So, all right, let's see what we get as an overall energy from the Animal Oracle deck, and dive into the cards and see how things come through today. Okay, yeah, Eagle Spirit has your back. I feel like this came up in the last reading, didn't it? I think it did. It came up with giraffe. So that was for the Aries full moon. Spirit has your back. So again, that's kind of what I was saying. The best friend, I got you. It's like this is go time. This is where like divine musical chairs, where it's just like whatever you're being guided to do, whatever is falling in or falling out is not random. It's not just like like it's written. Okay, it's written. Like, even if it looks like a whatever it might look like, just know that it's part of the divine plan, and that you're being guided, what is you're being guided to do. Even if you think you're see, this is what's interesting. Even if you think you might be acting out old patterns, or even if you think like something, you could judge it through like a linear 3D mindset, and view it through an old interpretation. Whatever it is, it has like a spirit element to it, where it's the exact piece of the puzzle that needs to happen to bring things forward in a way to get us through that 0 point field, and into the higher expression of where we're going. So it's kind of that thing of like, everything is perfect, and a lot of almost like, I almost feel like kind of coyote medicine, where like you feel like you're going this way, and then all of a sudden you have to go this way, which doesn't make sense at all, but you have to do that, and so then it takes you wherever it needs to go. And yeah, I feel that kind of energy as well, where it's like, but just that, like, spirit has your back, and just trust it, follow your instincts, follow your intuition. Even if you're over here and all of a sudden you need to be over here, like, there's a reason, and just let the spirit move you, because the death that's happening, the completion that's happening, is beyond what our linear minds can direct or can control. So just going with that current, and going with that current, and going with things, even if they don't make sense. Just know that you're being led. You're being led exactly where you need to go. My daughter and I watched the movie Beasts of the Southern Wild yesterday. I don't know if you ever saw it. It's such a shamanic movie, and I just love it so much. But the little girl, she's going on this boat, and she wants to find her mother, who she's never met, but she just, and she has this like whole, anyway, I won't describe the whole movie, but the thing that I wanted to bring up is, so she's in the water with all her sisters, and they're all just like these little girls, like kind of like swimming in the water, and this boat comes, and they get on this boat, and she looks up at the captain, and she's like, "I'm going to see my mama." And he's like, "That's a great place to go," And so then, she's sitting in there with him, and she's like, "Well, where's this boat going?" And he was like, "It doesn't matter. It's going to take you exactly where you need to go. Like, you don't even need to know. Like, it's going to take you exactly where you need to go." And it did. It took her to like the like whorehouse or whatever it was that her mom was at, but anyway, that just kind of came into my mind right now. Like, it's like, wherever you're going is, whatever you're doing, whatever you're feeling guided to do, is exactly right. And it's exactly right in everybody else's holograms around you too. It's like, we're all doing this like perfect clockwork divine dance. I have no idea this is going to come through, but it's so exactly true. I'm so on this pulse right now. We're all doing this exactly divine dance, even in the world, no matter what's happening in the world. It's like, the pieces of the puzzle and how they need to fit together, and it's like, this is guided. This is backed by spirit, and that surrender, and almost like going through everything with this mirth of like, well, it's like the clown show. People talk about the clown show and get the popcorn, but not even in this sort of like condescending, like, look at the mess out here, but kind of this like, look at what we're doing. Look at this perfect configuration of unraveling and rebirth and up-leveling. Okay, so, and this is a 5 card, this is a 5 card, the number of change, so in a sense 1010 is like, all these 5s. It's like when the change comes into that clockwork, and it starts to slip through the portals, and it starts to, the gears start to kick in, and just really trusting that. That's the message that I'm feeling as I'm like kind of channeling this through, is just to really trust whatever's going on, to know that it's absolutely perfect. It's absolutely perfect, and there's only love. It's all love, Love has already won, and just like letting it play out, and just knowing that that it's all exactly right. Okay, so let's see what else. Let's see what the tarot wants to say. So beautiful. Makes me so happy. Yeah, okay, so Messenger of Earth. This is the mission card. This is like it's my mission card. I mean, it's usually a card of like slow movement and like commitment and like, but this is us. This is humanity. This is all of us on the path, on this spirit path, whether we know it or not. It's like we're strapped in. We can't get off, We signed up for this long ago. And so here we are walking our mission, knowing that like everything, again, like everything that we're doing is a part of bringing this light. We're walking how the light is behind her. Like, as we walk, everything that we're doing, we're actually bringing that light in, no matter what it looks like. Even if it looks like we might be in our distortion, or we might be in whatever it is, it's like it's still the exact piece that needs to happen. We're bringing this light through. We're walking it through. We're walking we're walking it home is what I want to say. We're walking the light. We're bringing it here. We're bringing it onto the earth. This is an earth, a movement of earth is the messenger of earth, the night of earth. Moving on the earth, bringing it through, bringing it down. Okay. Wow, this is so cool. It's just like one card. I tried to do this reading earlier, just a little bit earlier, and like there were so many cards falling out. They were just falling out everywhere, and I was like, okay, slow down, hold on. And I just like kind of ditched the reading because I just had to have a conversation with the energies and be like, let's make this like able to deliver and able to land. And now it's cooperating so nicely. It's just like bringing one card at a time. So, okay, we get the Six of Swords. So here's this like moving on card, this card of moving on. What I really like about this card in this deck in particular are these kind of like ravens, and they're leading the boat. And you can see that they're tied to the boat. They're tied, and so it's like, it's again kind of that spirit has your back message. It's like she doesn't really have to do anything. Like she's not even paying attention. She's just kind of like grabbing her hair and like looking down. She's just kind of in that like liminal reflective space. She's just kind of like floating along and letting the boat take her. But the thing is, that's different than when we float along and our subconscious takes us and our, sabotage programs, and we're beyond that point. Okay, we're not functioning out of like, I know some people are, but it's like but those of us doing this are not. Okay, so we're at a different point. We've already connected. We've connected with our missions. We've connected with our higher selves. We got that pinky swear going on here. Okay, and so we're already hooked up. We're hooked up. We have this, and I feel like this is really a movement where we're being led, we're being guided, we're being pulled forward, and we, of course, we take action. If we feel to do something, we take action. We act on it, even if we don't really even understand or even like necessarily agree with what we're doing. Our minds or our hearts might be like, no, I don't think so. But it's like we're being pulled, we're being guided. And just to kind of trust that, because this is the forward movement. There's something about these other birds. There are 3 crows in the front, 3 crows in the back, and these are untethered. And I've been having that feeling. Oh, it's funny. The other day I was like, Erme, my daughter, like, what's your read of the energy? Because she's really good at nailing stuff. And if I feel a little foggy, we just powwow about it. And she's like, I feel like I'm in a boat. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly how I feel. I just felt like I was in a boat. I didn't know anything. I was just in this boat, and I liked it. I'm out at the desert here, and I don't have a whole lot going on. And so I've just been kind of like wandering around in the wild, and having this real untethered feeling. I felt, and that's what these birds are to me. Like, these ones are tethered, but they're the guides. They're the ones pulling us forwards. And these ones are just to me, they're kind of representing a little bit of the energy that I felt I've been in, and Erme as well, where we're kind of on this boat, we're untethered. But what's really coming through now is that and that's okay, because I felt very okay with it. I kind of felt like I was just kind of drifting around, and I like to do that. I like to walk or travel or be in new cities and stuff like that, and just kind of like, it's not that I leave my body, but I guess I kind of do, but I just let my instincts and my intuition take over, and I'll just wander around. So I did that when I traveled Europe, and I would just end up in the coolest places, just because I would just let like the winds blow me, but I could see that it was really spirit guided. And that's when I really discovered that, when I was traveling Europe, when I was, younger, and just really, really free, and really saw that like everything was really held and guided, and there was all this magic, but it's like until we get in a place where we can really surrender to that, if we're kind of like in our routines and we're just always doing the same thing and we're always on the schedule, it's like all we know is the schedule. But when we're just like kind of thrown to the world and you're just kind of like, meh, and then but anyway, that kind of being this energy where it's like, there is this guidance going on, and you can just kind of like wander and let yourself be untethered. Let yourself be untethered and let it take you. Like, let it take you, and just trust the things. This is what I'm feeling, advice to myself as well, right? Like, trust the things as they're playing out, knowing that everything is perfect. Everything is that perfect clockwork, but that we can just kind of like enjoy the ride. We can be there for the ride, even though we are active participants in it. Obviously, this is very boots on the ground, taking action, like walking out that light onto the earth, doing your part, grounding it down, taking those actions, having those conversations, whatever it is. And again, knowing that all of it is a part of this, is part of this moving forward into that next quantum level. Okay, so let's get some more. Let's see if the cards, like you could go a little faster cards. You could give me like a little bit more than one. There we go. Just one. Okay. All right. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. So there's that new path. And this is a path that has been earned. And that's what I love about the Ace of Pentacles. Like with the pages, you're like, oh, you're starting something really new. You're at the very, very beginning. And we've been getting a lot of those. Like we're at the very, very beginning and we don't really know where we are yet. And we're sloughing off the old. But what's really cool, because I haven't done a reading in a little while. It's been like a week and a half. And now, you know, it's like the energy has changed so much. It's like this isn't a page, you know, this is an ace. And so the Ace of Pentacles is like you're on a new path, but you're solidly on it. And that's very much, you know, going along with this kind of energy too, you know, this is a very Taurian energy, very solidly on it, very dedicatedly on it. You know, you've done enough, you've been through the portal, you know, because I was using that analogy a lot, like we just walked through the portal, we walked through the door, we had to figure out where we were at. Okay, we've been here long enough that we're on the path, and there's no falling off of it. You know, the reason why we're on it is because we've done the work. Our energy is a match to the energy. There's this little gnat that just is like trying to bore into my brain. Yeah, it's like there's no falling off of it. We're solidly on it now. We're moving forward. And I think that's why this energy is coming up too. It's like, okay, now we've gone in far enough. We've acclimated enough. We've sloughed off enough that things are starting to click in. Again, that clockwork where things are starting to move. They're starting to fall into place. It's all through the spirit guidance where there's this surrender. Okay, we're done like trying to kind of getting our bearings and, you know, deciphering out like what's old and what's new. And it's like, no, okay, we've done that. Now we know we're in the new. We're on this new path. We're on this new path, and this new path is taking us, it's taking us exactly where we need to be, and it knows exactly how to take us there. It knows exactly how to take us there. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful message to remind ourselves of, to tap into, to lean into. And again, that like laughing, that smiling, that like, oh my God, look at this miracle that we're all in. And you know, all the little the presentations that can look a different way, and like every emotion that comes up, and every little thing has its place. Every little thing is divinely orchestrated and guided and important. Okay, so I'm gonna do the Wizard's deck. Are we gonna get just one? No, we got a couple more cards. All right. So, okay. So the Knight of Air, the Knight of Swords, and the King of Wands. Okay, so this is a very fast-moving card. If this is a card of slow and steady movement, this is air. So it's a card of fast movement. It's also a card of communication. This one being the King of Wands. This is a very an empowered card, and you're in your power. You're in your spirit power. You're in your energetic power. You know how to take action and to lead and to guide others through the your instinct, through your, you know, rather than being like the cups would be, the water would be more like your intuition. This is sort of more like your instinct, your spiritual fire, like just knowing what to do, which really goes along with this, where it's like what I was saying, like we're being guided, we're being pulled, but that can sometimes take action. That can sometimes be a call to action, but that action comes from this very sort of like gut, like instinctual place, and it comes on fast. Okay, so fast action, that's what I'm feeling. Okay, so part of this path being fast action, it's not necessarily like that watery psychic intuitive realm, which often asks us to kind of like be in that liminal space, and you know, kind of like how she is, right, where you kind of like tune in, and that's important. That's very important to like kind of hold that space and to keep that connection. But seems like the action right now is one that's a little bit more fast, a little bit more kind of like erratic in a way. Like this guy can kind of rush in, but it's backed by this spirit-led, gut-knowing leadership instinct. So I feel like the message here is really about trusting the moves you feel to make. And again, like what I was saying earlier, it might not make sense to your mind, it might not make sense to your heart, but it makes sense to your gut. And it's like you don't have to understand why, because the message again coming through is that this is being guided, every little bit of it, and so you can just trust, you know. And what's funny is that's interesting. Is this sorry, my mind just went, I just made like 4 different associations at once, and they were all in a different direction, and I'm gonna dump them all. I'm not gonna try to pull all that through. Maybe it'll come through in a different way, but anyway. Okay, so fast movement, kind of like a think on your feet think on your feet type of movement, not even think on your feet, act on your feet, act on your gut, act quickly, okay? So a little bit of that going along with this kind of stuff. Okay, this kind of stuff where it's spirit-led, spirit-guided, and that being the path right now, that being the path and the mission to really like how we weave this light down, okay? Trusting what comes through and acting on it, and just knowing, you know, again, even if it doesn't make sense to different parts of you, that this is what's being asked of you right now on this path. This is how you do your mission work. This is how you bring this light forward, and to just trust it, okay? So I think I'm gonna pull from my little fairy deck and just how long I talk for 20 minutes and just get like one card, just like a one-word card. Let's see here. One flipped out. It like flipped out in a circle and then it went back in. That was interesting. Okay, come on. There we go. History and friendship. Interesting. These cards are kind of cute. History and friendship. So, like, why is this coming out? Why is this coming out in relation to what we were just talking about? Let me look at this a little bit. History and friendship. Okay. History and friendship. Let me pull a card. I usually get things faster, but let me just pull a card and get some help here. Why are we seeing that? Hangman. History and friendship and hangman. What is this? Do you know? Are you getting the intuition before I am? And 10 of Cups. Okay, 10 of Cups. So this is like, you know, this is through the portal. This is where we're going. You know, this is the quantum jump into that next level expression on the other side of that which we're completing. On the other side, this is, you know, sort of like what is pulling us, what is pulling us, what is guiding us, you know, what is causing us to take this action. Okay, all the little things along the way, taking us to here. All right, now the Hangman is a card of a pause. It's a card of a pause. It's a card of not moving. So this is a little bit of a mystery here. Let's figure this out together. Let me tune into your thoughts, your perceptions. So the Hangman being kind of on a little bit of a pause, but why is he on a pause? He's on a pause so he can gain a different perspective. He's gaining a different perspective and he's on this pause. But then this coming up right after this conversation about this sort of like fast movement, this fast direction, fast movement that might not even make sense. So maybe there's a bit of a stuck energy that we're moving through right now, a bit of a stuck energy because it, you know, it's like things do get put on pause to gain perspective, but it's like, yeah, maybe there's just a bit of a stuckness that needs a bit of kind of like erratic movement, you know, this gut energy movement that could just kind of push things through. Yeah, it's just not very clear to me. And then the friendship and the history, I mean, this to me kind of feels like a soul contract or like a soulmate kind of connection that you have with somebody where it's like you have this deep friendship. You know, this can be like kind of like a 2 of Cups energy. You know each other from before, you know, and this can be like our soul group, right? Like we're working on this. Oh, this is really touching, actually. I think I know what this is saying. It's like we're working on this together, okay? We're working on moving a lot of stuckness in the collective unconsciousness and in our own unconsciousness. We're working on it together so that we can get onto the other side into, like what I was saying about where we're completing a cycle that was kind of full of this kind of like stuck, denser energy, so that we can slip through that portal into the higher version of that, the cleaner, pure, true version of that without, you know, the old patterns. Okay, and we're doing this together with our soul families, with our dear friends, you know, even if they're new to us in this lifetime. It's like we have history together and we're doing this, and this kind of being part of the mission that, you know, we chose to do here together, to move this stuckness, to get you know, onto this other path which we are on now, and to push the whole way through into this higher expression. Okay, so and then, you know, and then again, you know, with the okay, this is making sense again with the energy of just kind of being pulled and trusting what's happening and some of these like actions that we're taking, just knowing, I think this is just reaffirming that, knowing that like we're playing out these different roles with each other, we're playing out these different roles with our soul family so that we can unstick the wheel, so that we can get off the hamster wheel, so that we can unstick the glue. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier, like it's all love, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, it's all love, it's all spirit guided, it's all the perfect cogs in the wheel to get things moving. And like we've all had, well, I don't know if we've all had, but I certainly had like my dark angel in this lifetime where it was just like the deepest trauma of like my life, my arch enemy, and now we're just in this like gorgeous place of unconditional love. And like we've seen the higher picture where it's like our souls chose to take on this polarity and this duality to kind of play out in our little screenplay, the human drama, and to hate each other, and then to come around to accept and to love. And our kids were part of it, and just this divine play where it's like some of the things, some of these actions, some of the things that might be going down in the unraveling of this stuck energy is really higher guided, and it's all love. And so just using my situation, this is 20 years ago, but as an extreme example, where even the darkest of the darkest is still love, and it's still this sort of like soul mission that we're doing together for the greater purpose, and it's still all part of the divine play. So, but I don't feel that's what's happening right now in these energies. I feel like this is more just kind of like a coyote thing, like a musical chair things, where like things are just kind of being thrown around where you're like, oh, this doesn't make sense. And you might kind of like yeah, but behind the scenes, behind it, you still feel this kind of like soul family, like soul union energy, where you're all working on the same things together. That love has already won in the quantum, right? What is that? I had this meme that's going around on Facebook, like I'm already on my higher timeline. Fear is an illusion. Reality is a matrix. Love has already won in the quantum, and may the illusion crumble. Okay, so that's that's kind of it. Like, let this crumble. Let the upside world spin and turn so that it's right side up, and so that it makes sense. And the unraveling of that, the unraveling, the actions to unravel that are spirit led and guided. It's very much a part of our joint mission together. And again, just kind of trusting what's going on. So it's a very interesting message. I'm glad that started to make sense to me, because I was really kind of stumped on that. But that's really, really beautiful, and that speaks definitely personally to me at this time as well. So 27 minutes, I guess I'll end there. I can't believe that was already 27 minutes, and that does feel like a really complete message. I'm gonna just maybe pull one more card. I'll pull from this beautiful deck that I never remember the name of, and we'll just do another last word as a parting message. That's like 5 cards. No, we're not doing that. Now it's getting all jumpy again. Okay, there we go. Uncertainty. Okay, yeah, that's okay. So that's kind of, that kind of goes along with this, where it's like, some of these moves that we're making can make us feel a little uncertain. Things don't make sense. We don't really know what's going on. But it's, again, just that message. And even, where you're like, but wait a minute. But, my people, my people, what's going on? And, but really, again, remembering that it's all in service. It's all in service of allowing certain energies to complete, so that we can get through to the other side, and that's the priority. And no matter what things kind of look like, and no matter how much we might feel like we're just kind of like lost in this boat, kind of on this boat, like completely untethered, and like not even really knowing where you're going, just this time of like real uncertainty, like, whereas maybe before we kind of had a plan, maybe we were one of these birds and we kind of thought we knew what was going on. It's like now, no, a lot of uncertainty. But I feel like the real message for today, if we needed one, was really, again, just to trust that we're being guided, to trust that it's all love, it's all, a joint mission with our soul family, no matter what it looks like. It's all good, even in the world. It's like we're all working this out together. It's a singularity. We're all going into the same unification. We're all going here. And it might be a little janky right now, but like, don't fall for the illusion. Don't fall for don't fall for this, and don't let the uncertainty make you feel that, that this truth, isn't true, and that this truth isn't true. Like, it's all beautiful. It's all, it's all love. It's all love. So anyway, that's an interesting message. I guess I kind of feel like I'm like, really, is there anything else? But why would I feel that way? That's just like the best message. It's so complete. So I guess I will just end there. Let me see if there's anything else. I feel like there's just like one other thing that wants to be said. Let me just like ponder here a minute, and I might pull another card. It's interesting because I'm having this pain that I sometimes have. I had it when, right before I got pregnant with my daughter, I started to do these courses with a midwife. I was thinking that I wanted to be a midwife. And when I met her, I just recognized her on such a deep soul level. And I literally felt like I either wanted to like run to her and like just like lay in her lap, or I wanted to like run from her. Like, it was such a moment of, so interesting I'm bringing this up. It was such a moment of like divine timing, and such a moment of like life path changing. Well, right after that, I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter, and then that woman was my midwife. And so I ended up like never doing midwifery, but it was like, there was just this conversion. It was just this divine timing thing. But what happened was I got this pain kind of in my solar plexus. And I remember like laying down I was like laying down in the middle of the room, with all these other like potential, like midwife trainee people around me, and my special woman was putting clary sage on my solar plexus, and it was just like such an odd experience. So I'm having that like same kind of pain right now. I have it at certain times in my life, and I know it has to do with big cosmic divinely timed changes. So it's really, really interesting that I'm having that right now, just with this reading, as I'm talking about these energies that are going on right now. And again, just to summarize, allowing that kind of gut instinct to move, even if it doesn't really make sense to you, to lean into the fact that it's all spirit guided, and that you're spirit guided, and that everything is love. Everything is really just mission with our soul family, which is everyone. We have our close soul family that we recognize, but humanity is one being, right? And so we're all doing this together, and it's just this gorgeous motion. But the fact that I'm having this pain right now makes me feel like this is like really, really big, what's going on right now, like some really, really big, beautiful shifts. It kind of makes me want to weep, because we've waited a really long time. We've waited a really long time for this, and I feel like, with this portal, these energies, this eclipse on the 14th, and then another eclipse 2 weeks later. So yeah, just some beautiful encouragement. I think that's what it is. Beautiful encouragement of how to move through these energies, because they're big changing energies. There is a bit of musical chairs going on, making decisions and having other people make decisions. But knowing that it's all for this, and that we are really we're just collapsing a sense of stuckness to get into the upright, to get out of the upside down world and get into what's true. And it takes, it can take some gut punches. It can take some it can take some things coming out of left field that we might not see or understand, even if we're the ones initiating it. Okay. And just knowing again, I know, and like a broken record, but maybe our subconscious just needs to hear this. Just knowing, where did that other card go? Did I lose it? Oh, that's interesting when that happens. It happens sometimes. I don't know where it went. Where did the boat card go? Oh, that's so weird. Where is it? Oh, there it is. It fell on the floor. Okay. Just knowing that everything is guided and and taken care of in the clockwork. So anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I hope this was comforting to you if you needed that comfort and resonant. And thank you for joining in consciousness with me as we put our attention on this. And the more consciousnesses that join into that higher perspective of things, the more we can kind of stabilize and hold for others who might find these movements and these changes and what's required to kind of like shift this stuckness, just to kind of like be a net, right? Like, let's just be a net in consciousness to hold that space of stability in the field, in the etheric field for others. So thank you so much for joining me in that, and I will see you next time if I do. Okay, much love to you all. Bye.